Okay, so the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer has a lot of people talking about the return of Ewan McGregor. However, he isn't the Obi-Wan people are discussing, and alongside him there's a lot of hype for the Grand Inquisitor who's making his live-action debut in the show. Though he looks like some eggs in the fridge, and shoutouts Jedi Knight on Twitter for that one, he's actually one of the most fearsome characters in the Star Wars universe. But what are his hopes? His dreams? Well, in this video, that's what we're going to be breaking down at light speed, and throughout it I'll be going over his origins, powers, and a lot more. If you enjoy it, then please hit the thumbs up button, and also don't forget to subscribe for breakdowns like this every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this, now let's get into the Grand Inquisitor.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience.
Okay, so up until now, the Grand Inquisitor has very much remained in the expanded lore like the animated shows, comics, and games. Seeing him in live action is a major turning point for the Inquisitors, and though people are complaining about the costume look, I'm still very hyped for their arrival. Now, in case you don't know, Inquisitors are basically Jedi hunting Force-sensitive soldiers that scour the galaxy looking for remnants of the Order. They're all extremely tragic figures, and at one point, most of them were either Jedi or Padawans themselves. Between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, Darth Vader built up a group of them and he enhanced their abilities by teaching them the ways of the dark side. Typically, Sith always come in two, with there being a master and an apprentice. However, nice little loophole here, you can actually have as many as you want as long as you call them Inquisitors. Now, the most impactful appearance they've had for me was during Jedi Fallen Order. If you've played the game, then you'll know that we open with Cal Kestis lying low on the planet Bracca. After he saves someone by using the Force, they're alerted to his presence, and I very much feel like the Obi-Wan show might be in the same vein. Cal was a downtrodden worker, much like what we see with old Ben, and I think that he'll have to use the Force at some point, which will alert them. It looks like along with Inquisitor Eva and Brother 5 that the Grand Inquisitor 2 travels to Tatooine, and this is where I think he'll be looking for Obi-Wan. However, there are a number of other avenues that they could be going. Now, it is possible that they've just been sent to Tatooine to intimidate those that live there. Whereas the Jedi were peacekeepers, these were peacemakers, and by that I mean they'll kill any man, woman and child to make sure that the peace is kept. Look, a public hanging, yay! Beyond that though, the Inquisitors were assembled together after the Emperor sensed a new threat rising, and this came in the form of children who slowly started to tap into their abilities. The teaser shows us a young Luke Skywalker, and not only is the de-aging by Lucasfilm getting better and better and better, it also shows us that he might be the next target.
Stay hidden.
Owen Lars makes a big impact in the trailer, and though he says very little, I think that the guy will be protecting his nephew. The comics had a big section where he basically refused Obi-Wan to even be allowed near Luke because of the danger that he could pose. Now, we know that the show will actually take place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and pretty much all the Jedi have been dwindled down to very low numbers. Obi-Wan will likely have to weigh up whether to go near Luke or not, knowing that if he does, it will put him in trouble. Now, because of the low numbers of the Jedi, I actually think that we'll see a lot of things from the perspective of the Inquisitors. Judging by the teaser, we'll even be visiting their fortress at some point. This actually appeared as the final level in Fallen Order, and it exists not only as a structure that dominates the surface, but it also has massive facilities under the sea. Now, the Grand Inquisitor himself made his debut in the Star Wars Rebels premiere titled Spark of the Rebellion. He was actually voiced by Jason Isaacs, aka Lucius Malfoy, who always makes for an intimidating villain. However, for this show, he's going to be played by Rupert Friend, but he's not your friend, he's the foe you gotta look out for because the guy is a really brutal actor. Friend played Agent 47 in the second Hitman movie, and he's definitely got that uncaged side to his personality that I think will work really well with the Inquisitor. Now, the character himself is a Pawhan male that was recruited by the Emperor and Vader to track down any potential threats that could come from the emerging Jedi. In the Rebels show, this came in the form of Ezra Bridger, a young kid that we watch mature over the seasons as he comes to grips with his powers. Later on in Season 2, we actually found out that the Grand Inquisitor used to work as a temple guard on Coruscant. After the fall of the Order, he was embraced by Vader, and though Rebels didn't show them interacting all that much, I think that the series will expand upon this. We know from the sizzle reel that Vader has a hologram chat with someone from his palace on Mustafar, and it's likely that this will be the Grand Inquisitor. He actually had hologram chats with him in the miniseries, so I am expecting a lot of exchanges like that to happen. As you can guess from this, he's ranked way above the other Inquisitors, including 5th brother, 6th brother, 7th sister, 8th brother, and 9th sister. There's also Inquisitor Eva who'll be appearing in the show, though we don't know her full denomination yet. You probably do though, as there's much smarter people watching these videos than the person making them, so if they've put a number out yet, just drop it in the comments below and I won't get mad. Now he also wields a double-bladed lightsaber with a circular handle, which most of the Inquisitors also carry. You can actually catch one on the back of them in the teaser, and when held in the middle, the blades spin around in a helicopter motion. During the new look, the Grand Inquisitor does some amazing baton twirling at one point, which means he'll be busting out this technique that I'm gonna be calling the Thanos. Before you start as well, yeah, I know these guys did it first. I don't want your comments, yeah, I know I said before I wanted them, but I don't want them. Yeah, don't lose your shit, mate. Sit down and have a drink with your old buddy Kevin, spoilers. Now, the series had him going toe-to-toe with Ezra and Kanan Jarrus, the two of which were master and apprentice. Now, because of this and the way that the show plays out, we actually know what happens to the character after the events of Obi-Wan. On his hunt, he managed to capture Jarrus, and the rest of Kanan's crew ended up infiltrating Grand Moff Tarkin's Star Destroyer in order to save him. Things went to shit, and it led to the villain facing off against not only Kanan, but also Ezra too. During the battle, it seemed the Inquisitor actually killed Ezra, and this spurred on Kanan even more to finally beat him. The Grand Inquisitor tried busting out the Thanos, which Kanan used to his advantage. He placed his and Ezra's lightsabers in the middle and busted up the handle, which made the blades plummet over the edge. This caused a chain reaction, and the Grand Inquisitor held onto the side of a ledge. At this point, he hinted there were some fates worse than death, and allowed himself to plummet into the fire caused by the explosion. This is a very ambiguous statement, but we can take from it that he would have rather perished than have to deal with Vader and the repercussions of his failings. Let's be honest here, guy's the worst boss in the world, and although it seemed like he had died, it was revealed later on that in some ways he was still alive. Darth Vader trapped his spirit on Tempest, and here he served as a guardian for the Jedi outpost that existed on the planet. Luke Skywalker ended up coming across him, and this all played out in the comics. The pair dueled, and Luke managed to beat him, and he left the temple behind. Vader arrived after sensing his son on the planet, and here the Inquisitor asked if his spirit could finally be released. Guy was like, bro, yeah, can I leave here, mate? Don't really like being here. And Vader was like, nah, think you can just stay here, mate, you dickhead. So this is the fate that was worse than death. However, there's actually something that's much, much worse than that. And in real life, the guy was actually a villain in Star Wars Angry Birds 2, which makes you realize how lucky you are. All in all though, I can't wait to see what the character gets up to, and I think he's a great aspect of the show. Yeah, the costume looks a bit wonky, but hey, it's all in the performance, and let the guy live, yeah? Seems like a nice guy in that. His last name's Friend, how bad can he be? Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the character, the Inquisitors in general, and what you think of the costumes. Let me know if you're hyped, if you're not, and basically anything you want to say to help push me into the algorithm so I can make enough money to buy my own lightsaber. I was lying about the comments. I love reading them. Now if you want something else to watch, then on screen right now we have our breakdown of the Obi-Wan trailer, or something else as equally as terrible, which YouTube will have selected for you. You know what though, mate, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. You take care of yourself, and may the Force be with you. I love you. Peace.